Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Fantasy Football Fallout. It's where I watch every single play of every single game of every single week, trying to find you the fantasy football insight nobody else will find you. Because hey, let's face it, not everybody has this kind of time on their hands, and not everybody is has such a great supportive family as I do. So let me just dig right in. Today we're going to be talking about the Sunday night football matchup, the Atlanta Falcons against the Philadelphia Eagles. And I got to say, I think both fan bases can probably agree that this was a sloppy game. Carson Wentz, too many interceptions, missed throws, missed opportunities. But hey, he also didn't have Deshaun Jackson, Alshon Jeffrey in this game. When you're throwing in Nelson Aguilar and your rookie Arcega-Whiteside, there's going to be some conflicts there. The timing's not going to be right. So I give Carson Wentz a little bit of a pass. Matt Ryan, hey, 3 touchdowns, great. 3 interceptions, not so great. I want to see more from Matt Ryan. He threw another goal line interception. He threw an awful goal line interception against Minnesota last week. You can't do this every week, man. Come on. Matt Ryan, he has familiarity with this offensive system. He just doesn't look settled yet. They pulled it off in the dome. They covered the spread if you're a bettor like I am. Great for them, but this offense can be so much more, and we saw flashes. Julio Jones taking that short pass the distance. Calvin Ridley doing as well as he did. If you look at the game book, you see a lot of targets. I think maybe even 12 targets went to Mohamed Sanu. Freeman is obviously very involved in this passing attack. Hardy, there's Austin Hooper gets a lot of touches week to week as well. So I like this offense. I like what it's doing, but they can't turn the ball over, and that's Matt Ryan, man. Last year, great season last year. This year, not so great to start the year. I think he had maybe 5 interceptions last year. He might have already exceeded that this season. It's rough sledding, but they'll figure it out, so it'll be okay. What I do like from Atlanta is the defense really showed up after I thought kind of getting punched in the face against the Minnesota running game in week 1. They showed up. They limited Phildelphia's running game. We'll talk about that in a second. But Atlanta took a step back. Do I stream them? Do I play them in daily fantasy? No, I don't. I want to see more weeks like this. Maybe it's a situation where you can, play your Atlanta players at home. We'll see. They always play very well at home. Matt Ryan, you're supposed to be a stud in the dome. You've had 2 dome games, a couple of duds there. So, but I'm glad to see that they got the 3 touchdowns there. And Calvin Ridley and Julio Jones, one of the best tandems in the league. You throw in a guy like Sanu, you throw in a guy like Hooper and everybody else that they have there. It's a very, very potent offensive attack. Let's talk about Austin Hooper. I saw it in preseason. We've seen this with Dirk Cutter in Tampa Bay. O.J. Howard and Cameron Brate were both very good fantasy football tight ends. Well, look, Austin Hooper can be that next kind of guy. If he's still on waivers, if you still need a tight end, pick up Austin Hooper. I personally do not need a tight end, but I'm even thinking about picking him up just to stash him on my team because I like what he's doing. He hasn't found the end zone yet, so he doesn't have that big burst numbers. A lot of people aren't noticing him yet outside of probably Atlanta, but the dude, man, he has really good hands, and he's going to find the end zone, especially in this offense. There will be opportunities. Devonta Freeman, again, something else I've been saying. Dirk Cutter running backs typically aren't good. Even in a game where it was close all game, Matt Ryan threw 3 interceptions. He still only had 11 carries. That is the norm in this offense. If you have Devonta Freeman, try to trade him away based on name recognition right now for Devin Singletary in your league. I don't know, the savvier owners aren't going to take it, but again, the name recognition, people know who Freeman is, people don't really know who Singletary is yet. Make that trade if you can make it. I think it's fair for both teams, and I think Singletary will serve you better moving forward in the season. Let's talk about Philadelphia. Miles Sanders continues, in my view, to get the more important carries. Jordan Howard is running just fine, but this is a Philadelphia offense. They are going to use all the running backs. I stand by what I said last week. Miles Sanders on the goal line will get more of the carries throughout the season, so he is the only fantasy football running back I would want to have on my team. Now, if you're talking daily fantasy stream, Jordan Howard, Clement, those guys will have some opportunity throughout the year, and maybe they'll be great fantasy football pickups for daily fantasy, but I would never put either one of those guys in my lineup unless there's like an injury in that backfield thins a little bit. And they also have Sproles too, who I like, and so does Philadelphia. They like him too. I've seen on some, who to target on waiver lists. I've seen Arcega-Whiteside's name pop up. Yes, he played, but remember, Alshon Jeffrey, Deshaun Jackson. Do you remember what they did in week 1? They're going to come back and they'll be at the top of the depth chart. I think Arcega-Whiteside eventually supplants Nelson Aguilar in this offense. But, we'll see what happens. Aguilar, he could have done better, but he had a nice game. So if you played him in daily fantasy, he probably had a pretty nice return on your investment there for his cost anyway. And then Zach Ertz continues to be a monster. He came this close to getting that first down to extend the drive at the end of the game. He's just going to be good. He's not somebody, if he's on your team, don't trade him. You're not going to get fair value back for him, and you're probably not going to be able to get him and pry him away for anything that's reasonable for your team if you don't have them. So anyway, there's my fantasy football fallout for this episode. You got to check out Austin Hooper. He's my guy to target. Arcega-Whiteside, I don't think you have to pop yet. I know his name's going to pop up on these lists. They saw, other people saw him in the stat line, but you got to keep in mind of why he was in there and why he got the targets that he got this week. It's because Alshon and Deshaun Jackson were limited. So there's the episode. If you like what you hear, if you like these fantasy football fallouts, I'm always going to have a playlist in the top right-hand side of your screen. Please hit the red button to your bottom right or the logo to your top left to subscribe. That's how we grow our channel. We could really use your support getting to our 1,000 subscribers. And that playlist is big for our watch minutes as well. That improves our ranking in YouTube, and we want to grow this thing and really make this a bigger service and add more shows and make this a really, really cool channel that is current, right? I'm trying to get these videos out as fast as I can, these reaction videos as fast as I can. The more views, the more that we can add, the better we can rank, the more content we can give you guys. This different take on fantasy sports than you're used to getting. So again, please subscribe, and the bottom right, upper left, and then these playlists, they really help us out. So check us out in another episode, and keep an eye out also for our Week 3 daily fantasy projections and Week 3 winner picks against the spread. Thanks, everyone.